Hey, it's Dr. Sherry. So, my husband and I run a real estate investing mastermind. Weekly, we meet and we help beginner stage real estate investors or early stage real estate investors gain traction, gain knowledge, but most importantly, gain traction in action. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but that's pretty cool. Traction and action in their investing, because now there has never been a better time than right now to invest in real estate. A lot of people freaking out. Oh my gosh, inflation and all of this other stuff. Actually, inflation's not a bad thing for real estate investing. But here's the deal. Real estate investors, we have no control over the economy. But the reality is there's always an opportunity to use real estate investing wisely, no matter what the market, where we are on the market cycle and what the market is doing. But here's the thing that we also recognize is that there's a lot of times people that want to invest in real estate and they just don't have the time. That is a legitimate challenge. I don't have time. I work a full-time job. I'm a CEO. I'm an entrepreneur. I have to run this whole business. Like, I get it. I've been there. I've been running multi or over $1 million business, and there's not a lot of time left at the end of the day. So what's the solution? How do you still take advantage of the amazing returns and stability around real estate investing if you don't have the time to devote to doing some of the more labor-heavy strategies? Well, it's the strategy of syndication. So I have a network of syndicators all over the United States, and they are constantly in communication with brokers looking for really good deals in large multifamily mostly, but there's syndications for all sorts of different kinds of asset classes. But large multifamily is really one of the most stable asset classes because people always need a place to live. And as right now with inflation increasing and the house prices of single family homes outpacing one's ability to buy, so they're renting, and with the increasing gap between the amount of housing that's needed and will be needed in the future as the population continues to grow and age, and the amount of houses being built, because we all know that the housing prices have gotten crazy to build new, and so there's fewer houses being built, and the ones that are sitting on the market right now because their price is way out of line because of the cost of goods and materials. I mean, it's like all of these factors going in at the same time. All of these and more are reasons why large multifamily investing is actually a really good time, or is a really good asset class to invest right now. But how many of you can afford to buy a $5 to $8 million, $15 million, $50 million apartment complex? Probably not many. I don't know if there's any of you watching this video right now that could do that all on your own. That is why syndication is such a critical piece to being able to take up or participate in these kinds of purchases, and for them to be able to be something in your investment portfolio that is giving you a return. So simply put, a syndication is where people pool their money together to buy a specific property. And the property is identified, it's managed, it's purchased, it's all of these things through a small group of experienced investors who know what they're doing, and they are putting all of this together for the benefit of all of the investors that are part of the syndication of that particular property, or sometimes there's a few properties lumped together. And so you get the benefit, I get the benefit of being able to offer my money up as part of the purchase and be able to get a return that will grow over time. There's lots of factors, it can get super complicated, but the beauty is you don't have to know about all the complications. You don't have to run and manage it. That's what the experts do. So I partner with other syndicators as well to be able to come together and purchase these things. So what I want to make you aware of is if you have money and you're like, I need and want to invest in real estate. I want the better returns. Returns can look like at a minimum 7 or 8% at the beginning, and then a lot of times these deals, they'll last. The cycle will be anywhere from like 2 to 5 to 7 years, sometimes even longer than that. You can end up with, like, I've heard as high as 100% return of your equity, of the money that you put in within like 3 years. But more commonly, it's somewhere around, like, they call it internal rate of return, IRR. It's simply taking account to the time and the money and the returns and when they came back and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of a complicated equation, but the IRR, so basically over time, the rate of return can be 15, 20, 25%. Really, there's some really cool opportunities. But so if that sounds like something that might be of interest to you because you don't have the time to research and to do your own investing as far as managing single family homes or buying a fourplex or maybe flipping or doing a short-term rental or any of those other kind of strategies that are available as real estate investors. If you don't have the time for that, but you've got some funds, maybe those are sitting in a bank account, maybe that's for a 401k that you can shift over to a self-directed IRA, and then you're able to actually invest out of that, or maybe you're going to sell a property and you're going to have 1031 exchange money that you want to. These are all places where people can take those funds and put them into a syndication on a large multifamily and be able to get really solid returns that are going to be more predictable and typically better than the stock market. Now, of course, there's never any guarantees in anything. You've got to do your own due diligence, but I would just want to encourage you that syndications are out there all over the place. I know of so many that are happening at any given moment. And part of what I am doing as a real estate investor is I am identifying key syndications that I want to be a part of and that I want to contribute to, either as just a pure passive investor or as also an active investor. So if you're interested in learning more and having more of a conversation, and maybe even at some point here being able to piggyback off of some of the information that I'm gathering and some of the syndications that I will be a part of, I'm happy to have that conversation. Just reach out, PM me if you just kind of want to know more about syndications. They're really an amazing opportunity, but you got to have my biggest recommendation for you is that you know who is kind of doing the main pieces of the syndication. You want to be able to trust them. You want it to be somebody that you can trust. There are a lot of people that do syndications. Some of them don't really know what they're doing or don't have a lot of history, or not too many people know them. You just, like any investment, you just want to know enough to have confidence. So love to have that conversation with you. Let me know, send me a message, email me, text me, however you want to get a hold of me. But just wanted to make you aware that syndications might be the perfect thing for you right now. I hope you guys have an amazing and blessed day.